Hello and welcome to the One About Podcast, show where we discuss what can only be described as parody each week. This week, I made the absolutely unforgivable mistake of letting Jordan pick the topic. This is the one about Dragon Ball Evolution. I'm your host, Dean. I also go by Endless Colon places around the internet, and I am joined this week, as always, by I Just Fried My Nads Jordan and horrific CG John. What's going on this week, guys?
Horrific CG John. Like, no offense though, that was probably one of your best openers today. Like, that was pretty fucking amazing.
Dude, I will definitely be this movie's Yamcha. That dude's a badass.
No,
Oh my God, he's really not.
He's not. On the fact that he's wearing like really dark ass lipstick, that's the only way I can explain the color of his lips in this movie. Swear to God.
He's literally a character from Marvel vs. Capcom.
He's so bad. It was pretty fucking terrible, dude.
I feel like everyone in this movie was a character for a fighting game that exists, but like we don't really know about.
God, I hope not. So before we jump into that, I want to ask Jordan, what have you been up to this week, man?
A couple friends and I have been doing a replay of Final Fantasy IV.
Nerd.
So I'm trying to get, and what's terrible?
Nerd.
You shared with me the Steam update
Yeah.
that happened for Final Fantasy IV, like after I'd already like got it on my tablet and I was already like 2 or 3 hours into the game. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna restart it. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and continue with the mobile version.
You said 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah.
Dude, you just started. What the
I know. I'm already behind though. And then I don't want to buy it
Also,
again.
did you say the tablet version?
Yeah, the mobile version. I just got it on.
Why?
Because I wanted to play it in bed and just be lazy.
Couldn't you
Is that not a reasonable
Couldn't you just use like Steam Link? First of all,
Steam Link. I actually do still have my Steam Link, yes, but I'd be damned if I ever use it. Jesus.
I mean, I know you still have it. That's why I brought it up.
my God.
I guess my I don't know. I really tried to use Steam Link. It was a little ahead of its time, and it worked a little bit. Like it worked for the City Sim and 4X games that I wanted to play on my couch. So like mouse and keyboard playing Endless Space 2 or playing Civilization was kind of cool. But like if you ever try to use a Steam Link with an actual game where you have to have direct control over a character, it's just like Stadia is better. Surprisingly.
It's like if you ever tried to use the Steam controller for anything.
Damn.
I don't know. I've held a Steam controller, but it was really dusty and wasn't turned on. So
I mean, you could try mine, but like that might have been a better experience what you just described.
That's pretty much like I'm actually behind. I played a little bit of the new multiplayer stuff for Ghost of Tsushima. I made it halfway through the 2-player campaign, and it's fun. It's cool. It's just it's cool. It's visually impressive. It's like the story so far is just a story to make cool shit happen, and it's fun. They add a lot of unique mechanics. I know I'm behind on this because it came out like 2 months ago, but they added a bunch of pretty cool mechanics that go along like with the enemies that you're fighting. They give them like certain aspects and powers that you have to have a specific counter for. You have to do this like in real time, and you have to go get the power for your weapon, and then you can defeat them and stuff. And it's cool. So it's a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to finish that. But that's pretty much what I.
Yeah, dude. I missed the boat on that one. Like there's no going back now. I don't think.
I want to at least beat the 2-player story and then mess around a little bit with the online stuff, because I did play one of the online raids that they had, the 4-player ones, and it's a cool concept. It's just it's pretty rinse and repeat. All of it's so cool, and it's such an endearing game that I love. I think the best thing about the DLC, I think, was the New Game Plus.
Sure.
Being able to start the game over with all of your shit and have the new die vendor, which I need to actually go check them out. Like that, I think restarting the game on lethal with all of that, I think would be really cool. But I mean, part of the thrill of playing on lethal in the early game that I experienced, or at that time, lethal wasn't even an option; it was just hard. Was that your character was like naked? You had like no fucking armor, so if a leaf fell upon you, you would just collapse in blood. So having all of your armor and stuff, like with all the armor, with the defense boosts, with certain charms and stuff, you could live 2 hits essentially, right?
Jesus.
But without that, it's pretty much a 1-hit KO, even from like bandits and shit.
Bro, at that point, you're just playing Demon Souls.
It's a lot of fun. It's because parrying in that game is so damn rewarding. Like getting a perfect parry and then chopping limbs off. It's so great.
Honestly, that kind of sounds harder than Demon Souls. Like, that's pretty messed up.
I'm not one to tell because I never played Demon Souls. So
yeah, I'm actually going to be playing Demon Souls for the first time on the PS5. So
I'm new
excited.
One, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Speaking of which, ooh, man, that PS5's hot.
Oh my god, it's pretty fucking so good, sexy.
It's I didn't think good.
That's what I want to hear about. I want to hear about your, because I haven't talked to you since you've gotten it. I want to know. Your experience for sure.
So it's all right.
Shut up.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, I'll literally go back upstairs and go to fucking sleep if we're gonna do that shit.
Oh, damn, that's unnecessary.
Like, it's all right. I mean, I wish I would have bought an Xbox, but it's whatever.
Oh, get that bullshit out of here.
Don't you dare speak that blasphemy
that launch day video of people vaping in their Xbox and saying, it's on fire!
Yeah. So good.
That's so good.
That's the kind of brand loyalty that Xbox provides.
That was so funny, man.
People who are dedicated enough to buy it day one and go through all the bullshit to actually acquire one are still like, but what if I vape into it and make people think it caught fire? I love Xbox players, dude. They're probably not, but they come off like the most toxic community imaginable. It's still, even all these years out of the Xbox 360 ecosystem, it's still a meme for a reason, dude. Who does that shit? Like, I love Xbox, but man, if I could destroy their brand a little bit, that'd be fucking great.
It's like, who thinks, it's like, oh man, look at all these holes up there. Oh, what would vape look like coming up from that? Oh, let's try it out. Like, it's like the guy who tried milk for the first time. How many animals' titties did he suck before he decided on cow?
Oh my god, hilarious. Dude. But I will say it is. I don't know that it's like visually a leap from PS5. Like, I don't know that I've played anything that was like, wow, that's impressive. But the actual act of playing PS5 is definitely a generational leap. Like, that DualSense controller is the truth.
What's the big difference? Is it just better vibration?
All the tech in that controller is immaculate. Like, when I picked it up, I felt
the power.
It's hollow. It's hollow, like on the sides, but in the middle, like you can feel the weight of the tech in that shit. And I was just like, oh shit, like that's pretty awesome. And then I started playing it. Like, I've only played the Astro Playroom, but that's a really good starting point because it makes you use all of the different aspects of the controller, so you get the feel of how to use them. Like, the adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback, like all that shit was just amazing and awesome. The rumble from that controller is probably the best vibration on a controller that I've ever felt, because it can be centralized on top of, like, in different parts of your hand. Like, you can see the response from when you're playing on it. The sound coming from the controller isn't ass like most of the ones that I've experienced. and like it's just a wonderful experience. Like my hands don't get cramped. Like it just feels good in your hand. Like it's great.
Yeah, like there's one moment in Astro's Playroom where they like play this animation on the screen where the touchpad flips up and they throw a bunch of like little astrobots into the controller, and then you can feel them like rolling around and flopping their arms and shit inside the controller as it rumbles.
Wild.
It's really cool. It's basically the quote unquote HD rumble that Nintendo put into the Joy-Con and
see, that's what I was about to fucking say. You just read my mind.
Yeah, but Nintendo's never really used that to any real effect. And outside of 1-2 Switch, which nobody fucking bought, that should have been a pack-in game.
Absolutely,
but that's neither here nor there. But like in almost everything, so like in Astro's Playroom or in Little Big Planet, when the character's walking around the level or whatever, it puts little bitty rumbles so you can feel their little feet going tick 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 tick. And
oh my shit, you just reminded me, like in Astro's Playroom when it's raining, you feel all the raindrops.
Yeah. And like when you get a bow and arrow at one point, you feel the tension on the trigger as you pull it back. It gets harder and harder to pull the trigger back. Or if your gun jams up, the trigger just stops working altogether.
Like, is it that noticeable with the trigger?
Yes.
Like
it's very noticeable.
It's not even a question. On top of the fact, all of that we just talked about is customizable.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Like,
you can change the vibration intensity. You can change like the haptic feedback of the triggers, like how intense it is, like the tension of the pull. Like you can basically customize that controller to work the way that you feel it should on every aspect of that controller. Like it's not just like, oh, you can change the button configuration and like the vibration intensity. That's it. It's like, no, it's like literally every one of these features that we mentioned is totally customizable to whatever level that you feel is good.
Okay.
So put it to you this way. My brother-in-law was over yesterday and he wanted to mess with it a bit. So we were playing some Call of Duty, and when he thought he was just gonna jump in there and just start playing like he's been playing or whatever, and he fired the gun and like it was like he experienced the kickback from the gun itself because he's like, oh, what the fuck, dude? And like his character like shot up into the air, and you really, really feel it. Like, first of all, when you're playing a game like Call of Duty, when you pull the trigger, it doesn't initially do anything. You have a little bit of give before you actually feel the trigger pull and the gun starts to fire, like a gun.
Yeah.
And you feel the weight of whatever weapon. So like if you're using an assault rifle, it has a stronger kickback in the rumble than if you're using like a pistol, which is a lighter experience. And every weapon has a different feel that goes along with the sound design in the game and all this kind of shit. So it really does make it for a unique experience that you just can't get anywhere but on PS5.
Sounds awesome. I look forward to getting mine next year.
It's pretty awesome, man. Like at this point I've played Astro's Playroom. I completed that game. I'm almost done with Miles Morales. I did. Yeah. I'm almost done with Miles Morales. I'll have to play that game twice to get the platinum, but I'll do that. I'll probably finish that today. I've played a bunch of hours in Sackboy: A Big Adventure, mostly because my wife is like obsessed with that game right now. And I played some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So I've played a decent amount of games and could not be happier with that console.
How's the how's the overall UI of the console?
I'm still getting used to it because, like, there are some things that I expect to happen and they just don't quite work that way anymore. So, like, for example, on PS5, when you hit the home button, you just like drop out of your game and you're in the main menu again. Now on PS5, when you hit the home button, your game continues to run, and it
it's
just
just an
pops up
overlay.
Right. So, like, if you hit that expecting it to like stop the game, you're in for a rude awakening.
Oh my god.
You can get fucked up real quick.
Yeah.
And to that end, like, if you drop out, because you can drop out of the game and go back to like the main user interface, but the game continues to run in the background. So, like, if you're in the middle of like, I don't know, Call of Duty's campaign or something, and you drop out to the main menu, be aware that if an enemy shows up, he will kill you while you're doing whatever the fuck you're doing.
And teabag your corpse.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like the user interface. The UX is nice. It's just getting used to it after 7 years of PS4, you know?
Oh my god. Was it around for 7 years?
Yes, sir. 2013 to 2020.
Isn't that the regular cycle?
No.
I feel like this generation...
I think PlayStation's a little all over the place.
I feel like this generation in general has just been a longer one.
Just a longer wait?
Not really. Like, PS1 to PS2 was 6 years. PS2 to PS3 was 6 years. PS3 to PS4 was 7 years. And PS4 to PS5 was 7 years.
That's pretty consistent.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Nintendo. They drop a console basically every 5 years.
So, do we expect another one next year?
I do. Until they tell us no, I do.
I think it's just to...
Well, I mean, I will...
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say that Nintendo does every 5 or 6 years. It averages out to 5, but like it could be the year after that potentially. What I don't expect is for them to be like, "Here's a Switch Pro, and we're just going to keep rocking this same console for another 10 years."
I think they will.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I think they will.
They might do like, "Here's a Switch 2." And so you can keep playing your Switch games, but like they're not going to do a mid-cycle refresh and just keep rolling the same console for another 5 years. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, and that's funny because like at before I got the PS5, I think the Switch was probably my favorite console that came out, just for its portability and like versatility as a console.
It's fucking incredible. I think they should just double down, and if they do release a Switch 2, then I don't know what they would do with it, but I mean, that's not for me to think about. That's definitely for Nintendo to surprise and delight, as they do so expertly. It's like, now you can split the screen in half, and 2 screens, and 4 controllers, and
it can fucking fold.
Oh my god, it can fold into itself. You guys see that new Samsung phone that can fold into itself? It looks like a fucking SP.
I did. Kim
Dude,
was on the fence about getting
phones.
that. Yeah.
Have you seen that one smartphone that's like trying to be a sidekick?
A sidekick?
No, the worst part is Sidekicks was probably my favorite version of a cell phone. Not gonna lie.
I think I know what it is. I gotta Google it to see.
When you see it, you will immediately go, "Oh." You'll go, "Oh."
But yeah, it's called the LG Wing.
Oh,
and like they basically put a smartphone on top of a smartphone, so like you can swivel it up like a sidekick, but it's a whole touch screen on top and then a touch screen on the bottom that you can type or do whatever on.
That shit is gross as fuck, bro. I do not want that.
I remember like mid 2000s movies and like use like the actors using sidekicks and shit like that, like in the movie.
Gentlemen, what the fuck are we even talking about anymore?
I don't know,
dude. I'm telling you, you're getting a precursor for how bad this movie is. Like,
I came here to talk about Promethean orbs.
When we do this shit right here, you know that shit is bad. You know that
there's only one Promethean orb, and that's 5 stars.
God. All right, look, fuck it. I'm gonna dive into it right now. My biggest problem with this fucking movie is they had, like, I'm not gonna say all-star cast, but they had enough casting power that this movie should have been light years better than what it was. Like, let me just this list of names, like Emmy Rossum, who is she's a really good actress, especially on Shameless. She has a lot of range. Fine, you can admit that. You can admit that.
Don't use this. Like, don't use her Bulma as example of her other acting. Like, she's done better things.
She's actually done a lot of better. Yes, she has. She's actually a really good actress, especially in the standalone movies that she's been in. On top of the fact she's been in Shameless for the 15 seasons that has been in. For that could be a boon or like a con to whatever you want to think about her acting ability.
Well, I mean, the thing for me is, like, the only things that I've seen her in are The Day After Tomorrow and Poseidon, which are not good movies.
Exactly.
So, like,
Day After Tomorrow is a fun movie.
It's fun movie, but it's not a good movie. Yes. Yeah, like, this movie is fun in its own weird way, but it's not good.
Terrible. James Masters, who's like one of my favorite actors from the Angel era, and he's actually a really good actor in basically all the shit that he touches. Like, he was in Marvel's Runaways, where he did really well in that. I really like that shit. And he always plays like a really good villain. When I watched the movie, I was like, I know that voice. I know who he is, but I can't put my finger on it. When I looked it up, I was like, holy shit, that's my boy James Masters. All right, now we're getting into real territory. Why the fuck is Chow Yun Fat in this movie?
Yo, right.
I was really caught off guard by that, dude.
Like, you want to know what I think happened is, like, some people got latched onto this project and, like, they're like, dude, this is a dumpster fire, and then they called in their Hollywood favor to, like, better actors and actresses. It is like, I need your help. You need to do this movie. You remember that thing I did for you that night? This is you paying me back.
Also, I just want to point out, like, you haven't brought up Jamie Chung on purpose yet, right?
Correct.
Okay, I was just making sure, because, like, you skipped over her, and I was like, I don't know if she's going to fall into the incredible actress category, or if you're not acknowledging her at all, because she definitely deserves to be the incredible actress category.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yep.
And, like, the fact that Jamie Chung was cast as Chi-Chi, who's the love interest of Goku, and, like, doesn't get that much screen time, like, you know, other than, like, some of the fights and shit like that. Like, she doesn't get the screen time she deserves. Mm-hmm. And the role that she got was terrible. Like, I was brought up to the fact that she was in Lovecraft Country, and when I remembered who she was, I was like, holy shit, she's awesome. She's super good, has great emotional range, and they put her in this shit.
They made her play a thirsty teenager.
Yep. I mean, in fairness, this was only her second movie role.
Yeah, that's fine.
Her first role was like a bit part in Grown Ups. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
This was her breakout, Dragon Ball Evolution.
I don't know if you would call this her breakout. But
yep. And then the last but certainly not least, the amount of years and movies under this guy's belt. Ernie Hudson.
Like, Winston.
Dude. On top of the fact he was cast as like a fucking Tibetan monk with gray eyebrows and shit. Like, and like a Fu Manchu.
I didn't even recognize him at first.
Dude.
So let's back up for a second. Dragon Ball Evolution. I mean, I said at the top that it's like best described as a parody, but like this is outright offensive to call it a Dragon Ball adaptation in any way, shape, or form.
Yep. Like basically I was gonna like the only way that like what you're about to say is basically summed up as this. You have to judge this movie as a standalone movie by itself, because if you try and tie it to anything of note that it's supposed to be adapting, you will burn your TV and take a shit on it.
Actually,
that's just no.
What I was gonna say was, if you divorce yourself from the fact that it's an adaptation of Dragon Ball and just judge it for what it is as a standalone movie, you want to burn your TV and take a shit on it.
It's not a movie for Dragon Ball fans.
It's not a movie for humans.
It's kind of not.
It's kind of like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, right? Was the movie? It's or the original one from the 90s. I forgot what that one was.
Even that movie is way better than this.
But it's a movie for people that walk up to a ticket booth at a movie theater and go, Dragon Ball Evolution. Like, I think I've heard of Dragon Ball before. Let me go ahead and give that a shot. And then you already got your money, idiots. Have some popcorn. I don't know how. I don't know if those people like exist en masse. You know, I know people out there that do that. Probably not too common anymore, even outside of COVID. Just the nature of how things are now. But it's a rough movie, and I really can't think of another movie that has altered its source material so significantly. Like almost every aspect outside of names is altered.
The fact that the names aren't changed is really jarring too.
If they just changed the names and stuck with Promethean orbs, like if this was just Promethean orb evolution, I'd be like, oh, look at this cool, like straight to sci-fi, you know, fucking kung fu movie. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. It's barely a kung fu movie. The most kung fu aspect of it is just the first scene with Goku and Grandpa Gohan. That's about it.
And even that is so bad, dude.
Oh my god. It's just like
it's really
like
bad.
Let's put it this way. Like my fiance's sister is visiting, so like the whole house was up and adamant at 10, 11 o'clock at night when I decided to watch this movie yesterday. And I literally like start the first scene and then it was just like Goku. And I like literally asked everyone, I was like, does that dude look like a Goku to you? No, he looks like a Brad.
He looks like a Brad.
And I'm just like
a Brad or like a Trent.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Holy shit. And then on top of that, like the Gohan, the guy who was acting as Gohan wanted to make sure that you knew that dude's name was Goku because he said it every time he addressed him.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
Listen,
he was trying to like
before you use your powers, Goku.
Yes,
you're a good boy, Goku.
Oh, and on go ahead.
I think the problem is that Dragon Ball fans, when watching the movie initially, would get a culture shock. So they're like, look, they're not gonna just accept that this is Goku because he has some funny spiked hair. We got to just say his name as much as possible in the first 15 minutes, and we're just gonna force it into these people's heads. You're here, and you need to accept that this is Goku.
Like, you're going to like it and just have to deal with it. And, like, you want to know the icing on the cake? The icing on the fucking cake is, like, the boys play Dragon Ball Fighter Z, right? They call the game Goku because they don't remember the name of the game, and all they remember is the main character that they play with on the game, right? Funny shit. They're fine. They're 9 years old. So they come downstairs, and they're like, hey, this is Goku. And he's like, what? That doesn't look like Goku. That's not Goku. It's like, you're
right. like even them were like shocked. They're like, what is this?
This is coming from 9-year-olds whose only exposure to Dragon Ball is the video game. Not an anime that they've watched for years and years, and it's probably the reason that anime exploded in the United States. But a video game, and they were like, who the fuck is this guy?
So, what if I told you that not only was this supposed to be the first of a series of movies,
Oh my god.
the main actor said that he signed on for 3 movies and they wrote at least 2 of them.
Oh, fucking shit. No, they did
I want
not.
that. I want
They
the
did
second
not.
movie.
I kind of do too.
I would like to.
If only
I'd read the transcript. That's it. That's as far as I would go.
I would love a script. Yeah, like I just want to read it. I wanted to see because obviously they left it on a cliffhanger.
Oh
of
my
course,
god! Like, dude, the fucking
telegraphed the shit out of
the
that.
ass pull. It's like, oh, like who the fuck sleeps with the covers over their head like that and then just pulls it back? Like,
it was so awkward.
Yeah.
I know we're jumping to the very end of the movie, but that scene was so fucking awkward.
yeah,
It was so weird.
It was bad as fuck.
Every scene in this movie is awkward and bad.
It really is. Like the fighting.
But yeah,
wasn't choreographed
they
well
changed. They changed everything about the source material. Like I said, outside of names, like there are even the cities' names are different. Like just use the city names because the city names in Dragon Ball are literally just like East City, West City, North City.
Yeah.
Like it would have been easier than coming up with these other names that maybe
It's not even easier. It would fit the movie better. Not because it's from Dragon Ball, but because like we don't care. Like this movie's so bad, like we're not going to remember the names of these fucking cities. Just call them East City, West City, North City, South City. Like that makes more sense.
It would have been easier for them to just I don't know why they had to put Roshi in the middle of a fucking crater in the city in an apartment complex.
Yeah.
Like is it not easier to just put him in a little island in the sea and just fucking CG it or something? Like, is that not easier for you guys? Why'd you have to spend more money and do that?
It was probably the same amount of CG to make that shit look like it was in a crater.
Dude, talking about CG, and I know we're bouncing. I don't know how. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do chronological order.
We have to,
one, but
it's fine. Dude, it's fine.
So...
I think half the CG budget went to the first capsule scene. Like, no, sorry, not CG budget. Half of the entire budget went to that capsule scene. And I didn't even get a fucking poof out of it, dude. I was so disappointed. I'm like, cool. This is like proto Transformers, which maybe Transformers had already come out by then. I can't remember, but like I didn't even get a little poof or something. Like nothing. It was just started from a capsule and then bike. It's like, okay, whatever. And like just fucking deformed itself into a bike. Like, okay. Disappointed.
What's the word that I'm looking for? Oh yeah, fuck this movie, dude.
This movie was rough
from the very beginning. It's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
King Piccolo aided by Ozuru. Like, wait, what? Aided by what the fuck are you talking about?
No,
and I believe it says he brought the Ozaru too.
I think so.
He's the destroyer.
Which doesn't make any sense because that was 2,000 years ago, but it is Goku. But he's not 2,000. Whatever. I'm not gonna.
You're trying to apply logic.
I'm not gonna. I can't start finding plot holes like that,
dude.
Abound.
I will say this: like one of the things that I applaud about this movie is James Masters in Piccolo's makeup looks how I imagine Piccolo would be in a live action movie. It was actually really good. Yep, I'm going to say that.
Hurt you?
I'll say that right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree less.
Dude, he looked great.
What the fuck? What? Are you high?
Dude,
he looks great. That's a wrap.
Dude,
that's what live action Piccolo is gonna look.
Live action Piccolo, like 100%, like buff as shit. Like got the huge dome. Like it was amazing.
Nah, dude, I would have significantly preferred if they just went with traditional King Piccolo and had like an old fucking wrinkly dude with some antenna. I would have preferred that over them trying to make manly man, Piccolo Jr. with ab armor. I think they were struggling. So I don't know if they were trying to recreate King Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. I don't know which one they were trying to do.
It's King Piccolo.
If 100% King Piccolo, then wow, they could not have been farther.
Wow.
I mean, they're pretty fucking far from that. I mean, outside of the ab armor, I think that we all know Piccolo's classic ab armor. We see it in almost every scene. It's just iconic. I mean, that's just a known that they nailed that part, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like Goku's hair, like you couldn't get closer to the source material.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
His hair, like when he was like putting gel in it, and it just like basically jizzed on the mirror. I'm just like, yes, perfect.
Everything, every scene, every bit of clothing, every song, every shot was so unashamedly 2000s.
Yeah,
it was just incredible. Like, it was so, like, especially Bulma. Bulma was just like the epitome of 2005.
Yeah, because they were like
going hard in the paint.
Like, no offense, like, but Bulma would probably been worse. Like, if this movie was made today, because Bulma in the cartoon was just an opportunistic hooker, basically. She would literally, she would like offer up panty shots, like use her womanly wiles to get what she wants. Although she was probably the smartest fucking character in the show.
Well, that was by far the smartest character of the show. But I think that like that was also part of her. That was also part of her trope, right? Was that she thought she was more desirable than she always was, And really, the only one that ever really worked on was
Yamcha.
Yeah, like there's only one that ever really worked on was Yamcha.
And
if
Vegeta.
You exclude, we don't even talk about that, dude. I don't.
What the fuck do you mean? Like, he was with Bulma a lot longer than Yamcha was.
Dude, the only thing Bulma ever did in canon, well, outside the manga, which I don't know what happens in the manga, but in the series, it's just like a lot of shit happens between the fucking between the Namek saga and the Trunks saga. They're just like, oh, time has passed, shit happens, Goku's been away, Bulma's been hitting on Vegeta, probably tapping it, and we're getting baby Trunks,
I like how you're like, they're having a kid together. He was probably having sex with Bulma.
I don't think
like there's some weird Saiyan ritual that they go through.
I don't think that well, I mean, you can probably find that on the internet if you really wanted to. But I don't think that there was ever a moment where Bulma actively pursued Vegeta. I think Vegeta just, after coming back from Namek, it was like, I'm stuck on this goddamn planet until I die. And he just kind of found the hottest chick near him, and then just wanted to
the hottest, smartest chick with the best inheritance on the planet.
Hey man, as a prince, he made a good choice, kind of, right?
Like no offense.
I mean, who else is he gonna fucking pick?
I mean, yeah, I feel like side note, I feel Chi-Chi should be brought up on child rape laws for having sex with Goku so many times and having children. Because that boy has infantile fucking brain power. You heard me.
Yeah, well, so does Chi-Chi though. Like, if we're going by the Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball, she was miserably thirsty and like abusively predator. She was a fucking predator, dude. Yeah. In the original Dragon Ball, Chi-Chi was a predator. And she knew what she wanted, and she got it at the end.
She was like a little kid, dude. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
No, bro. What I'm talking about is like...
What do you not remember?
Look,
she was a little kid, but like she
knew who she was messing with Goku.
She actively pursued Goku constantly, and Goku in his boyhood, naivete had no idea what was going on, right? Like, he agreed to marry her because I think he thought that marriage was a type of food, right? Like, that's in canon. I think I remember that scene.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's one thing they got super wrong is the Goku I know would never been like, Grandpa, teach me about ki, teach me about kung fu. Why don't you teach me how to get the girl? Like,
no,
fuck you, dude. That's not my Goku.
Like, I'll say this right now: they had to deviate from the original character type that Goku was, because Dean and I talked about this when we were talking about Dragon Ball Super. Like, Goku has been the same character since inception, and that does make him a boring character.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like the definition of a static character, but the point of a static character is to change everyone else around him, which he definitely does. So like, you can't just randomly be like, well, now we're going to give a bunch of characterization to Goku. Like, you ruin the character at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is why a lot of people have issues with the way that he acts in Super.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, it's not really different than
it was in
really
fucking bad, but it's really fucking bad.
I feel like it is very different only because Western audiences weren't used to how he actually was in the subbed or the Japanese versions. Like, now he's just more aligned with how he is supposed to be written.
Yeah.
But whereas Western audiences were used to a more stoic version of Goku.
Like,
so
there's no pragmatism in any of his decisions. He is naive in the fullest sense of the word, being that he's like probably like fucking 70, looking like a goddamn 18-year-old buff trainer.
70.
Dude, he's old. He's old.
Meanwhile,
Saiyan's age.
Meanwhile, in Dragon Ball Evolution, he's like, but Grandpa Gohan, I really want to smang it to Chi-Chi.
Legit, he's so thirsty, and then on top of the fact, like, he has all the bad qualities of anyone who holds power, and he's like, yeah, you're getting bullied and shit like that. You're told not to fight. So after your grandpa dies, it's like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna like show these guys what's up. Yeah.
Before he dies.
Before he dies.
Just before he dies. Sorry.
Yeah. He snaps and stuff. What?
I don't even think that he snaps, dude, because like he doesn't just start punching dudes in the throat.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm not gonna take it anymore. That's it.
I will give them credit. That is something that Goku would do. To avoid altercation, he would make them fight themselves. Like, that is something that is in character with him. He would just dodge their attacks and make them fuck up their own stuff. Like, that is definitely something I can see him doing.
Not really. Goku would have been like, what do you mean I can't fight them? That's what I do, man.
No, actually, no. It's
not
different.
Kid Goku. I think adult Goku would have done.
The guy, Goku at the same age as the character in the movie, he would let them punch him and hurt themselves without even knowing what the fuck's going on.
That's something that adult Goku would do.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, he's Goku, 18 in this movie. I mean, 18-year-old Goku was... What was 18-year-old Goku doing? I think he just had Gohan. I think that's like the start of the Saiyan saga was him being like 18.
Let's find out.
Because I remember there was like, I remember that time leap, but in the original Dragon Ball,
Goku is 23 at the beginning of Z.
Okay, so then at 18, that was the tournament at the end of Dragon Ball, maybe.
Dude, I googled how old is Goku at the end of Dragon Ball. It took Dragon Ball to mean like the end of all of Dragon Ball. It's like 154 years old. Wait.
What?
Wait.
I told your ass. Y'all thought I was playing, nigga.
Not Super. No, like
no. Well, I mean, Super takes place before the end of Z. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Akira shot himself in the foot with that final scene in the Buu saga.
I mean, kind of, but like he doesn't do anything in that final episode in Z. So
don't worry, he'll forget it. He'll forget it and ignore it.
You guys don't like Oop? That's my boy.
I like Oop.
I don't have a problem with Oop.
I don't think we're ever going to get anything concrete with Oob unless they do another time jump.
Okay, so at the beginning of Dragon Ball, Goku's 11. And let's see.
I thought he was actually younger than that. Okay.
By the end of Dragon Ball, he's 18.
There we go.
So by the time he was 18, he had married Chi-Chi and presumably was on his way to making Gohan.
Uh-huh. While he was going Super Saiyan in them cheeks.
And beating the shit out of Piccolo Jr.
Oh, actually, I think you're right, because Gohan was 4 or 5 at the beginning of the Saiyan saga. So if he's 23 at the beginning of that, that means that he would have had him right at freaking 18. Yeah, like literally like the day they got married then.
Gohan is 4 at the beginning of Z, which means he would have had him... He's 23, when he was 9. Yeah, right after the end of Dragon Ball.
I mean, that all works.
Yeah,
he was still definitely
Toriyama
naive.
Gave a shit back then.
Yeah, he just... Oh, speaking of Toriyama, he was an executive producer in this movie.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything.
I know,
executive
but it still
producer
means he was...
is like a glorified way of saying, like, we like this guy.
I know, but it still means that I would assume he would have read scripts. He would have been on set maybe just one day.
No, dude. There's no way that Toriyama would have looked at all this and like, yeah, that's fine.
I disagree. Toriyama's done some dumb shit.
Toriyama can't remember what he wrote 20 years ago. That's not the same as being like, yeah, you can shit all over my empire.
That's what I'm saying. So like, okay,
he handpicked the guy who writes Dragon Ball Super and helped him write it at the beginning. Like, he doesn't just go like, yeah, do whatever, it's fine. Nobody cares. He cares. He just doesn't have a great memory. There's a difference.
Well, it's totally fine.
Well, in this movie,
I can't fault him for that.
Like, in this movie, they must have went to him and go, okay, we have Chi-Chi, Bulma, Goku, Piccolo, Yamcha, Roshi. Are we forgetting anybody? Nope. That's it. And then after you watch this movie, you're like, wait, where the fuck was Krillin?
But to be fair, no one gives a shit about Krillin. He's a fucking joke. Actually, you know what? I rewind that. The fact that Yamcha was in there and Krillin wasn't actually offends me.
So here's Toriyama's quote on Dragon Ball Evolution.
Okay.
As the creator, as far as the scenario and characterization are concerned, I get a feeling of, what?
Wait, end quote?
But the director, everyone in the cast, and the crew on set are ultra high caliber, end quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Basically, the general synopsis that I got.
Like, that's accurate. Like, the whole movie is like, what the fuck is this? But man, those guys can act. They're not acting very good in this movie, but they can act.
Because of the source material that they fucking got. It's just like, shudder.
If they really wanted to make a trilogy, they would have been better suited with having the villain be like... What's the first villain in Dragon Ball? I think it's what's his name?
I'm gonna read this out loud for you guys. I only read the first part of it. I can't wait to see where this quote goes. Toriyama said, and I quote, "Also, at the time of the Hollywood movie, the live-action Dragon Ball, the script had too little of a grasp on the world and its characteristics, and on top of that, it had a conventional content that I couldn't find interesting. So I cautioned them and suggested changes, but in spite of that, they seemed to have a strange confidence and didn't really listen to me. What came out in the end was a movie I couldn't really call a Dragon Ball movie that lived up to my expectations. That being the case, there were parts where I wanted to show some spine with a world and story only the creator could draw."
So, who owns the rights to Dragon Ball to make this movie then?
Hold on. Owned by Funimation, Toei Animation, Fuji TV, and Akira Toriyama. So, to answer your question, I imagine Toei and Funimation gave them the rights to make the movie.
Awkward. You know that.
You know what's also interesting?
What?
This was distributed by 20th Century Fox. Do you know what that means? This is now a Disney movie.
Is it?
They own 20th Century Fox now, dude.
Is Chi-Chi a Disney princess now?
Oh my god. So many things wrong.
Oh my god, I hate this so much.
It's so fucking bad.
I do love that Toriyama hates it too, though.
Yeah, there's so many qualms I have with this movie. And on top of the fact, this is the only, surprisingly, only live action adaptation to any of this source material. The only one.
Yeah.
That's there's no way to state like how huge that fact
they went
is.
I'll also note
they went way too big.
I'll also note that real quick that this article goes on to say that it's extraordinarily uncharacteristic for mangakas to be directly and unambiguously negative about adaptations of their work. So the fact that he said that is really telling about how he feels about this thing.
I mean, they just went too big. This movie shouldn't have had Piccolo in it. It should have.
What the fuck do you mean it shouldn't have had Piccolo in it?
They started to, dude. This movie had a significantly different pace and feel to it from the first half to the second half. The second half just went wild and everything just sped up and it turned into a Hummer commercial. But they should have
forget about that shit.
They should have slowed the fuck down and they should have just given like a smaller, maybe like tournament reason. Like I don't know, like maybe just have Goku meeting Roshi and Krillin and having the rivalry and then joining a tournament and then winning their first losing the first tournament to a disguised Master Roshi.
Dude.
Like that would have been a cool kung fu movie.
Dude, like
right?
Yes, but like you're talking
and then tease Piccolo at the end.
You know how long it would take to So think about it from this perspective. This was made in Hollywood, which means they're making it for I mean, take this for what I mean. Us. Like American audiences, right? Who are vastly more familiar with Dragon Ball Z. You cannot make a movie in that bubble that only shows Kid Goku maybe finding Roshi and having a couple of kung fu fights with Krillin as a little kid in tournaments, whatever. It would take a fucking eternity to get to what most American fans want to see. Going and stopping with King Piccolo, in my opinion, was extraordinarily conservative. I'm shocked and thankful that they didn't go full Super Saiyan in the very first movie.
Oh my god. Honestly, no. I'll say this right now. If they went Super Saiyan during that fight with Piccolo, this movie would shoot up to so bad it's good. Because I can only imagine how they would have pulled that off.
He did a little bit.
No.
Right?
No.
When he became...
No.
When him, no, hold on, hear me out. When him and the Ozaru became one and he trusted in himself, he kind of had a little Kaioken moment, right? Where he had like a power boost and it was, I feel, akin to a pseudo transformation. It's not a Super Saiyan, of course, but still, it had the same kind of vibes.
I mean, when I was watching the movie, I was really concerned that that's what was about to happen. So I understand where you're coming from.
Have you watched it before?
Yes, but not in a long time.
He forgot how bad it was. He was actually...
I really did.
This is one of the very few moments where Dean was like, it's not that bad. Everything's going to be fine. And then he watched it and is just straight up horrified.
Yeah, it was
I just turned my brain off.
I tried to turn my
brain off.
Dude, I was like when it did the opening segment where he was like describing the world and like he got to how Ozaru was like a minion of Piccolo. I was immediately like, okay, hold on. Let's back up.
20 seconds in, bro.
I know.
You didn't even make it a minute.
As soon as they said that, I was like, hold on. I need to shut the Dragon Ball fan part of my brain off because this is going to go into a really deep, dark, angry place if I don't. And I started watching it as just like a movie. I was like, forget the fact that I know the source material. I'm just going to watch this as a movie. And I was still mad.
Yeah. It is pretty fucking bad. What was the lipstick that Yamcha was wearing? Like, that's the only way I can explain, like, the color of his lips, dude. Like, his lips were, like, jet black.
Just wild. His frosted tipped hair and his crazy... his crazy ass Hummer.
And the fact that he was about to smang
it. It's a family show, man.
And the fact that he was about to smang it to Bulma within, like, meeting her in, like, 5 minutes.
Oh, and they never...
Yeah.
There was no scene that, like, described why he joined their party. He was just there after they left.
Oh, no, there was a scene. He was offered a third of the royalties that Bulma would get for her DBE.
I cannot believe they worked the title of the movie in there in that way. First of all.
Yeah. Oh my god. What about the fact that while their Jeep got blasted and was tumbling through the air and like got avalanche rocks on it, Goku thought it was more important to put on his orange gi. And
which looked like some sorry ass fan made cosplay.
Okay, like no,
like Sub-Zero of like Scorpion, right?
Let's not like talk shit about fan made stuff because I posted you a trailer of fan made live action adaptation of Dragon Ball Z that looks immaculate.
Let's not pretend like fan made shit holds a candle to what like Hollywood can actually do.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I know that. That's why it's more terrible that Hollywood came out with this and like the fan made trailer looks. I would be way more excited to watch that.
Oh, you're saying like let's not insult fan made shit by calling it, dude. I stand by what I said.
Now with live action stuff, I've never seen something that was fan made live action that is Hollywood quality. Now maybe there is stuff out there, but like it's just not genres that I follow.
Sure.
But like there's definitely fan made CG stuff out there that is incredible.
Yeah.
And also games too. Like there's a guy that's creating an engine for a Sonic game that looks incredible so far.
Yeah, nobody cares about Sonic.
And also, stop it, dude!
Jesus,
it's already dead. Stop it! And there's also the that one CG that I love of the Majora's Mask opening redone. Like that's always incredible to see.
In Unreal?
Yeah. No. Just the CG opening for Majora's Mask that goes through like the story of it.
Oh yeah, I remember. I know exactly what he's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. So I have to say, my favorite scene in this movie was when Goku is talking to Master Roshi.
Oh god.
He's like, I had a vision with the Dragon Balls, and like you're gonna die, and Bulma's gonna die, and Yamcha's gonna die. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why the fuck did you whisper that part?
Because he really likes Yamcha.
He's a sensitive boy. We can't let him know.
Man. Oh my god.
They tried to like Chow Yun Fat, give him credit, he tried to capture the energy of Roshi. I thought the Bikini Quarterly thing was kind of cute. And he had that when they first met Roshi, he had that like fucking anime chick shirt on.
Yeah.
They kind of got it. I mean, adapting that kind of energy in live action is generally cringe.
That's the whole point.
I know, but I thought it was okay, right? As Roshi, it was okay.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't get any like huge.
Not right. It's not okay. Nothing about this movie is okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, and oh my god, the funniest thing Roshi said the entire fucking movie was when they went to that like sacred training ground, and that's when they found like all the people that are training for the tournament and Chi-Chi there fighting. When Roshi was walking through that area, he's like Goku, I think, asks him, "Are we not going to train here?" And he's like, "No, we can't train here. My ki is shriveling up." And like in the background, you see a bunch of guys everywhere. I think it was alluding to. I think it was alluding to there's too many dudes here for Roshi.
Basically. Oh, and let's
like,
point out the fact like there's a whole bunch of people like fighting in a tournament, and like it's just like we didn't really get any information about the tournament other than like, ooh, Chi-Chi's a part of it. And then it's like, holy shit, there's a lot of people fighting here. All right, let's walk away and totally disregard that this is happening.
Nothing.
You know what the worst part is? Like, in most movies, I'll be like, I wonder if there's any, like, Easter egg characters in the background of the scene. I actually don't give a shit.
like not even
I hope there's not.
Where's Krillin? Why is there no Krillin in this entire movie? Why they forget about Krillin?
Because they described the Kamehameha as an airbending technique.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
There are 3 elements: fire, something, and air. I forgot the
water,
second.
Water.
Is it water? Yeah, fire, water, air. You know,
it's either water
disregarding,
or earth. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's disregard the other established RPG elements that have been around for 30, 40 years, but there are only 3 in this universe, and the Kamehameha and what he was learning is airbending. I was like, dude, this is the craziest crossover I've ever fucking seen.
Avatar.
Dead ass. It was so weird.
You guys managed to ruin 2 franchises in one movie. That's pretty good.
Seriously. I think I would rather watch the Shyamalan Avatar over this movie.
Oh, I would definitely rather watch. Like that movie's actually entertaining in some ways.
I would
for sure.
And that movie, movie has like really good ideas. This movie's just a fucking piece of shit, dude.
They made it so much harder on themselves changing these things. You know, like
I mean, even the most basic shit. They're like, when you gather the 7 Dragon Balls, you can make one perfect wish. The fuck does that mean?
Yeah, and why is it Shenlong? Is that the accurate translation?
I think
for Shenron?
I think so.
Oh god, I hope not. You want to know what my favorite scene from the movie is? Is when he gets all of the cliff notes and training help
in 7 days.
From Master Roshi on how to use the Kamehameha. And then he's all like, light all these torches, and he's just sucking ass at it. Can't even fucking get an energy ball to go past his fingertips. But Chi-Chi comes along, and this nigga turns into a master in 3 seconds.
Right away, right?
God, dude.
I know, dude. I was so mad about that. I was like, this guy gets a little bit of pussy dangled in front of his face, and all of a sudden...
He's just throwing Kamehamehas like he'd done it all his life.
Yeah. And how airbending can light a torch, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna challenge that, but
my word. Like, I feel bad that I subjected the family to watch this film downstairs, like on the best TV we have in the house.
Dude, I mean, like, just the littlest thing, like when they're fighting whatever the fuck those things that Piccolo made are.
Supposed to be Cybermen. They're supposed to be like kind of like Cell Cybermen, right?
No, they're supposed to be like drum and cymbal, like his minions that he created. They didn't even give them names of instruments. Damn it! Like he just provided his blood. And you know, guys, when you ever go to the blood bus and they put the needle in you and start taking out blood, and you're you start screaming because they're taking the blood out. Classic scene.
Yeah, I'm super familiar. Of course, I do that every weekend,
all the time.
But anyway, like, okay, fine. They're supposed to be drum and cymbal or whatever. Just throw that on the pyre that is disrespect to Dragon Ball. I just love how they throw them in the lava because it's the only way to defeat him, he determined in 5 seconds. Not only does the lava not melt them
destroy the body,
they don't sink in, but they also happen to throw them in a perfect little bridge that he can hop across to get to the Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Oh, on top of the fact, him standing on top of those bodies in lava would instantly ignite him and kill him. Right?
Nah.
I mean,
speaking of which, I also love how they recover that Dragon Ball, and then Roshi is just like, I know we just got this Dragon Ball, but this is gonna take too long. Fuck this shit, dude. Let's go. Let's go do something else.
Yeah. We only have 2 days. It's not gonna be enough. Let's just totally deviate from our main plan. Oh my god, it was so bad.
I also love how Roshi walks into that temple and he greets him like, "Oh, my favorite skeptic has returned. I'm the only one who can perform the Mafuba." Wait, what? The fuck?
And he doesn't question it or anything like that.
He doesn't have anything to say to that. He's like, "Well, yeah, you are the only one who can do it."
It seems like they had a lot of internal or background knowledge on Goku because literally Roshi's the boy won't be ready in time. And I was like, wait, he knows who Goku is? He knows everything. What the fuck is going on? I don't understand.
Don't question it.
Oh no.
Just like you shouldn't question this fucking random high schooler who tries a flying kick in the middle of a street fight.
Yeah! Oh my god!
Yeah! I was like, who the fuck does that?
Who throws that shit out? Fucking shit. Oh no, let's not point out the fact, didn't Piccolo get sealed away, what was it, 2,000 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
But Ozaru decided to come to Earth and wait till he was 18, so he's only been on the Earth 18 years. What the fuck was he doing for those other thousands of years?
Imagine being trapped, every atom in your body cannot move.
It's just compacted on itself, yeah.
We don't know shit about Ozaru in this movie, so, I mean, who knows?
He even says, when him and Goku were fighting, he's like, humans... What was his quote? It says, human power has failed before. It's like, dude, he's not human. You know that, though. Why would you say that?
Because they didn't think about anything.
Why does Yamcha have an industrial fucking drill his goddamn Hummer that they can drill to a Dragon Ball?
Oh, that his harness is held up by duct tape. That's legit duct tape.
Yeah, you're right. It was silvery and everything.
God, and then and then the Ozaru transformation scene in CGI, immaculate.
It's so bad, dude.
It's basically just a werewolf transformation with the snout compacted to look more like a monkey.
There's a lot of slow-mo shots in this movie that are totally unnecessary.
No, it is necessary because the fight choreography is garbage.
Oh, it's very bad, yes.
It's to make it look better.
There's a lot of slow-mo.
Did anybody else get thrown off at the beginning where Goku is having that fucking completely whack daydream about Chi-Chi?
Oh my god, yeah. Where she's eating a fucking strawberry and the wind is blowing and I was just
flowers everywhere. And then the teacher interrupts him and they start talking about Nemeks. I was like, what the fuck is a Nemek? And then I looked at the subtitles that's how they pronounce Namek? What the fuck is going on in this movie?
Yep. And
Nemeks come.
And that's the thing about that's more surprising is that's fucking general knowledge. That's what he's getting taught in class about history is what is supposed to happen? What does our ancestors talk about the solar eclipse? And I was just wait, nobody's laughed. What the fuck? What?
In a seemingly pretty modern classroom too, right?
Yeah.
Well, so there's two things that are weird about that scene to me. One is that, you said, nobody laughs at him, which implies that it's either common knowledge or correct or whatever. But then, the teacher responds back to him as if it's some kind of fairy tale or something. So, like, it's kind of conflicting information. I can't tell if what he's saying is, like, religious thought or considered to be religious thought, or, like, if it's accurate and he's just giving him a sarcastic response because he knows he's not paying attention. Like, I don't know how to read that scene.
Yeah.
It's awkward because in Dragon Ball, nothing that happens or that's understood throughout the Dragon Ball series is ever known by the general populace. Like the Dragon Balls themselves,
except for
like
Cell.
maybe a few people know about them. You're right. Well, no, Cell was fake news. Remember, Hercule beat him.
No, yeah,
So,
but they know
no,
that
no.
Cell happened. They know
No,
that
Cell
they knew that
is
the
a
Earth
real
was in
being. That's
danger
the
and all
reason Hercule is become so famous after that, is because he defeated Cell. That's the only
right.
threat
was
that
the champ.
everybody
knew
knew
was
is
before.
general knowledge.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
Satan.
They missed an opportunity with him too. They should have had like a poster of him somewhere or something, right?
If they just
that's going
randomly
too
dropped
far.
Hercule in this movie,
That's
I'm
going
like,
too
this is
far
now
in
a
there.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like at the end, the evil containment whale fails. Goku falls, and then standing atop of those cliffs, Hercule's there.
Yes!
He has a fucking microphone and a speaker box next to him talking shit to Piccolo before he drops down on him.
It's a camera crew behind him.
Can we get a spin-off of this movie, Hercule Evolution?
I would be so down.
Like, that would actually work.
Same budget and quality.
Yes.
So good. I'm 100% down.
I want that movie.
Hercule
movie would be so awesome.
Like, it would make more sense in every aspect.
Oh, and Yamcha didn't know Kung Fu at all, and there was no Wolfang Fist whatsoever.
Correct.
Like,
probably one of the better named moves throughout the whole series, in my opinion.
They just missed a lot of, like, if you're gonna go and make a movie this bad, at least throw in as many puns and Easter eggs and little nods as you possibly can.
Yes.
To make it funner for people like us who are watching it. I don't know what they were thinking.
Nothing.
That's the thing. It's like, what were they thinking? Who knows, man?
I mean, they didn't explain shit. I mean, he put those 7 Dragon Balls on the pedestal and started recounting the chant or whatever. Sure.
Speaking of all these, dude, there's no concept of scale for Shenron in that scene. Like, how big is this dragon?
Because there is none. He's a tiny little dragon. He's so damn small.
I don't think that he is. I think that they just failed to get, because when you see him as an entire dragon, it's against the sky, and he's so close to the camera that he appears small, but I don't think that he is, because like when he comes in to like grant the wish, you see his head, and then you see them like behind it, which gives you the sense that he's much, much larger. But I don't know. Like, the perspectives and camera angles in the entire sequence with Shenron are so fucked that I can't tell if he's big and it's like bad perspective, or if he's small and it's bad perspective.
Yeah,
I don't subscribe to any of that shit. I think that he's no longer than maybe like a basketball court. Like, that's about as big as he is.
Oh, it's baby like, Shenron.
Little cute Shenron. On top
it was a little baby Shenron, and they didn't even voice him either. Nope. Like, just find a dude on the street with a deep voice and say,
fucking no, they should have just used more of their star powers, like called in a favor to the guy who's the voice of Allstate and made him the voice of Shenron.
Oh my god.
That would have been fucking amazing, actually. And on top of the fact, like, the color that they used for Shenron made it really hard for him to be visible with that sun background. Like, it was like
purpose.
It was terrible. I didn't
want to put the money in the CG.
Enjoy it whatsoever. I still can't get over the fact, like, they totally made a character archetype of Goku that's the exact opposite of the source material. Like, no traits whatsoever from the source material. The exact opposite.
Honestly, Goku is more like teenage Gohan, I would say. Right? Like Buu Saga Gohan. It felt more like him.
A little bit.
It felt like this should have been a great Saiyaman movie.
Oh my god.
You know what? rewatching that scene, he's definitely large. Shenron is definitely a big dragon.
That's a big boy? That's a big dragon boy?
He had a huge head, tiny little body.
They're just... Shenron appears small because there's no quality control in this movie anywhere.
Look how tiny he looks, though.
No, look.
But like the shot that I was talking about, where you see him looking at them standing in this little rock cave thing, like gives you a concept of how big he actually is. They do a fucking terrible job with the scenes with Shenron, just like every other scene in the movie.
He looks like he is 20 feet away from that. I think it's just the perspective. So to me, like when I see
think about that for a second. If he's only 20 feet away from there, then he's even bigger because his head is bigger than the entire rock face.
I'll say this right now. What Jordan is imagining Shenron looking like is Mushu after he broke the dragon statue and put the head on top of his head.
Oh
that's
my God,
exactly what he's talking about. Like I'm envisioning it as like that's the perfect way to put it.
Because like if you look at the scale of this, if let's just say that you're right, he's like 20 feet, 100 feet away from where they're saying right there, his head is literally bigger than the entire screen. So,
well, yeah, because the camera is positioned right behind his head. So the head is going to look big. It's in the foreground. It's going to look larger.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, this is a problem with Fourth's perspective that I don't even think that they considered. I think that their cameraman is just, well, this wouldn't even be a cameraman problem. This is whoever was doing the CG on this movie.
Yes. So, like, there is a way to figure this out. If his head is the same size as that, you could figure out roughly... You know what? Someone's already done this. I'm Googling it.
We're not death battling this shit. We are not death battling this shit to where we measure fucking scale and do the calculations on this shit. No, it is not worth it. It's really not.
I mean, it probably isn't. It's so frustrating, though. It's so frustrating.
Just that sigh. That sigh is all you need to say. That's it.
Oh, right here. I found kaiju.wiki. And
okay.
You know, the only real source we have for this kind of information, and on here it says length 100 feet.
Based on what? Where did they get that information from?
Sorry, it's confirmed.
There's no source cited, nothing.
This is the official kaiju.wiki.com. I mean, I don't know how you can argue with this.
The official kaiju.wiki.com, which on the right-hand side has review, topless robot. This seems like a respectable institution.
Hey, you don't. All right, they got to make money somehow. But the fact is here. Look, do airspeed fast. Intelligence,
airspeed
average, dude. It says intelligence average. That's a burn.
Fucking shit.
Intelligence
attributes: bite, claws, tail. Excellent.
I think that's average. Powers: wish granting, flight. Sure.
Unclassified Eastern Dragon. Sure.
Yeah. Hey, his kaiju level is a 2, which seems impressive. He's a middleweight. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait. Speaking of weight, 22 tons? 22 tons.
Yeah.
I didn't get that sense.
That's a big boy.
That's 10 cars. He's 10 cars or 2 buses, I think. Yeah, 100 feet. That's the same impression that I got from how large they made him. Not, of course, the original Shenron, which is miles and miles and miles long, which I think would have been cooler
because we've never seen his tail.
I
have we?
No, I think we have. I think you see it when he dies in GT when he's killed. Wait, let's use the same archive.
God damn it! Please don't.
No, stop. I hate this rabbit hole that we're going down right now. I hate it so much.
Do you? Because it's a little bit better than the movie.
I mean, that's
and by a little bit, I mean a
bar.
lot.
That's a low fucking bar to get over. Like, you know it.
I mean, I do know it, but
like clipping my toenails is more exciting than this fucking movie. Jesus Christ!
I don't think they have. I don't think this site actually deals with animated kaiju.
I will put this out there though. Like, Shenron is wildly inconsistent in how big he is.
You're right.
Like,
you're absolutely right.
Wildly inconsistent. Because, like, on the one hand, you get an image like this, which implies that he is just unbelievably huge.
Which looks amazing, by the way.
Fuck yeah, that's a badass image. Is that from the Garlic Jr. saga?
I think so. And then on the other hand, you get this. They're both official images, but he's far, far larger in one than the other.
I think he just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, it could be that he can change his size depending on whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's a god, so he does
whatever he fucking feels like.
It depends on how strong Dende is that day.
I want the background story on Shenron. I want how he came to be. Like, what the fuck? Like,
don't they give you a little bit of that in Super? Because there's another mythic dragon above him, right? With the Super Dragon Balls,
or like the wish has no consequences.
No, what do you mean it has no consequences? It definitely has consequences.
No, I mean you use the galaxy, the super balls, the galaxy super balls, super Dragon Ball, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this dragon is literally the size of galaxies.
No, but like, isn't his wish, that wish is more powerful than Shenron's in the fact that it has it has no limits. Yes.
Yeah, no limits
for literally anything.
Yeah, and it's across universes. Like that was his wish, right? That was 17's wish at the end of Super, was to bring back all the other universes that were destroyed.
Yeah, and they said, and
if he didn't wish for that,
then, everybody would have been fucked.
then he just went, all right, well, I think this is over. Just killed everybody.
Disappear, like blink everybody out of existence and start over.
This is some TTGL sizing here with a dragon the size of galaxies.
Well, gentlemen, it kind of sounds like to me that we've exhausted all that we can on this piece of shit.
I'm trying.
There's no more that we can fucking do with this. Like, it's bad. It's not even like a good watch for fun, in my opinion.
No, it's really not. It's a good watch if you want to hurt yourself, but
I agree. If they just would have embraced putting, just Easter eggs everywhere and just had fun with it, then it would have been much more enjoyable. But you're right.
They were way too serious with this movie. It's like, we're making a trilogy out of this, so this needs to be totally serial.
Yeah, it's not one of those so bad it's good movies. It's just so forgettable. It's a rough watch. It's not that long, at least. It's
dude, I got through it super quick.
It's
like
way too long.
It's too short.
5
for what
minutes
it's trying
is too
to
long.
Cover.
Apparently, 20 seconds was too long.
Dude, they went in that beginning scene.
Bro, you know what's hilarious? Actually, I guess one last thought. If I just looking at my notes, but
no, we don't have time for that.
He wishes for Roshi to come back to life with the dragon. Bro, you can ask for more than one person to come back to life.
We both.
Oh no, that's the Namekian dragon. Shit, never mind. Yeah. You're right. Ah, crap. Okay, never mind.
I thought about the same thing. I was like, you have your choice of Roshi or your grandfather who raised you for 18 years. You pick Roshi. All right, cool. That's fine.
You know what's funny is, like, this movie is so terrible and so forgettable that I forgot about Grandpa Gohan by the time we got to that scene. I didn't even question it.
Oh, fuck, man. I'm so sad that I had to watch this movie. I hate you so much, Jordan.
Yo.
Yeah, you can't pick any more topics, man. Like, you fucked up. You had one job and you fucked up.
I mean, that's the point. Like, we can't just pick fucking gems or movies we think are going to be good. Like, we knew that this shit was going to be bad, but how bad is the real adventure?
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're going to pick something bad, at least pick something that I can work with. I can't work with anything in this movie except to build my rage.
Oh shit. We should watch the Mortal Kombat series.
Yeah, see, those are actually... I like those movies.
Yeah. Just the acting choices that they picked in those movies were interesting. Like the guy who played Shao Kahn, I've never seen him in anything else before or since, and it was pretty awesome. I liked the way he portrayed Shao Kahn.
I've never seen him.
I think
you said
I've
series. You meant
something.
movies, right? Or is it multiple movies?
Yeah, there's a few. Oh God, he's a chunky boy now.
Yeah, dude, of course he's a chunky boy. Dude. Like everybody who has that role in their early 20s/30s, after that it goes downhill real fast.
That's what I know him from. He's in Cobra.
Cobra?
Yeah, Cobra with Sylvester Stallone.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
God damn it.
Perfect casting choices, although in the Mortal Kombat series was for Liu Kang and Shang Tsung. Best.
All right. We're going off a cliff here real fast.
It's totally fine.
Is there anything else that you guys want to bring up about this movie before we wrap up?
Never watch this movie if you like coherence and you value your intelligence.
And on that note, before we go, remember that you can catch the show live every week on Twitch, an entire week before it goes live on all other feeds, as well as submit your questions and comments for us to read live on the show. If you're listening to this after the fact on YouTube, make sure you drop us a sub as we upload a new episode every week. And if you are on podcast services, drop us a review as it helps us find new audiences. And don't forget that you can always chat with us whenever over in our Discord server. You can find all relevant links below. And as always, have fun out there, guys, unless you watch this movie.